Rest in peace. Thank you for your sacrifice, noble being. Hello. Hi. I am Slappy Meats. We are here. We are queer. We are queer twice. We are back. Or at least most of us. We are back for more Drums of the Empire D&D on a weird night. On a queer night, one might even say. We've had a bit of a schedule rearrangement, so we are shuffling over from Fridays to Mondays. Same time,
Again,
same
I
place.
apologize, everybody. It's my fault.
I don't
Good
mind a
night.
Monday.
It's fine. You're part of the family.
I wasn't doing anything. Monday was fairly unoccupied. And now I have Fridays to party. Let's totally do that.
Hey.
Anyway, this is the place. This is my space. This here, all around us, is my channel. You are here now. You are queer now. Get used to it. I am also within the party. I am playing the Dhampir Rogue, Sayeldav. Just the most trustworthy and sweetest boy you'll ever encounter. I am joined as well by Lolaman.
Hello, I'm playing Wanulines, the Mushroom Folk Cleric Druid Healer. And we're maybe gonna see some Fey action. It's gonna be fun.
Speaking of Fey action, we have Selnica.
Hello. And yes, there will be fair action. Felimy being very, well, being very in a mood right now, but we'll see how it goes. Felimy, by the way, being not quite Fey paladin, but might as well be. She's about as scared as a paladin can get.
Also Fey action. Kitsune is here. Moonlight Kitsune.
Greetings, all. I play Yozora, the team's warlock, scholar, babysitter, and all that fun stuff that the titles entail.
Adventures in Babysitting. That was a wonderful movie. We also have with us our one and only precious bunny boy, Bunnybee.
And I am forever your Tabaxi Ranger, Wither.
Wrangling us all together, keeping this unit compact. We have our wonderful, beneficent, generous, handsome and good-smelling DM, who would surely do nothing but kindness to our party, Ironmog.
Hail, travelers. Welcome back once more. I hope you enjoy our new night. I'm excited to get back to it. I've missed you guys. Welcome to the new year. New adventures, new fun, new friends. Let's get right down to it. Absolutely. Our last adventure with our heroes here gathered was a bit of a fun little excursion, wasn't it? You guys beat the shit out of some stuff. That was rad.
Yay.
It was mostly Filmy over there that did most of the beatdown.
That's true. In typical paladin fashion, delivered a mighty smite and just rocked that wind oni. Just bam! Kicked the shit out of it. That was so cool. But yes, triumphing over the malignant oni that seemed to have a little bit of assistance from outside, even outside of the world of Yome itself, and stirring up some trouble, causing some issues, and being all around not good for anyone. After defeating, you spoke with the spirit of Yome's winds themselves, who seemed very grateful and just pleased as punch to meet some heroes who were willing to put their lives on the line to set right what wrongs there are. Divulged to you all some deep secrets, including a very powerful secret about the world of Yome itself. There supposedly is a forge buried deep within the world that can be used in likely nefarious manners by an enemy that had not really shown its face much until now. The Empire of Shadow itself has finally had a very significant mention and seems to be present upon the world of Yome. What that all means, how that all is going to come together, has yet to be revealed and to be fully grasped by our heroes and by their allies and agents from the city that also wait upon Yome back in the village of Banaktu, hoping to hear word from our heroes. Time is currently our enemy, as it seems to be quite often, as it is now mid-morning ish. Having started out very early in the morning to tackle the Oni, our party finds themselves, after having regathered themselves and moved away from the shrine and leaving it in a purified, cleansed state, allowing it to begin to heal the land and some of the injuries and wounds that had been inflicted by the Oni. They found Philemy on the way, who wiped out, just tired, emotionally drained, physically wiped out because didn't sleep well the night before for obvious reasons we can, I'm sure, all sympathize with. But after a moment, they have regathered Philemy as well and have traveled back to the village of Yakutin. It is, well, I say village, it's again more of just a logging encampment, really. Here they will be able to deliver the good news that work can begin once more. And I believe the hope is that they can find some sort of transportation, procure some method of getting around a little bit faster than their own 2 feet can do so, in order to return a little bit swifter and possibly take care of the other issue they stumbled across out near Chinpo. There is, of course, also the potential that they may head for the farming village of Tumac, where they can speak with the individuals there, the mayors, elders, whatever you want to call them. Speak with them, secure some resources, get some supply lines going. But we'll get to that. For now, a weary but triumphant group has returned to Yakutin, where they find themselves faced with the village as it just seems to naturally be, just people working. There's individuals moving logs around, counting, inventory, uh, e- splitting logs, making lumber and boards, and everything. They seem to have themselves, as far as you can tell when you get back, they seem to have caught the scent of the wind and the way it's blowing and have taken it upon themselves to already start pushing forward with going back to work, doing what it is that they do best, what they were here to do in the first place. And so we'll start there in Yakutin as our party returns and see what we all get up to, see where we go today. And now I will note that there is, yes, the battle to come. And if we get far enough that we get to the point where the battle is the next thing that will happen, we will probably end there. So just heads up, there's the possibility of ending a little early, because I don't want to start it without having a chance to discuss and get you all comfortable with the different mechanics that will be involved there.
All right, let's go back. Skip, skip, skip. Battle tomorrow. Oh, shit.
Yeah, good session, everybody.
Yeah, that does make sense.
But here we are, once more within the greater bounds of Yakutin. Party traveling and moving around as best they may. At this point, the bless effect on Philemy should have already gone away. But I do believe you will still retain the temporary HP. Those don't just go away on a whim. But bless does eventually run out, so I'll go ahead and remove that from you. And
Yeah, oh no, 8 hours.
no, not aid. This was from the potion of heroism
Oh, fair enough.
that gives the temp HP and the
shit.
the bless effect.
Yeah.
So the bless effect will have dispersed by this point, but you've still got the temp HP, and everybody else has still got, good mention, the increase to the maximum HP that aid had given them. That, man, again, that was such a rad move by Dove. That was so big brain and so useful. Thumbs up, and well done all around. Our heroes have also been granted some gifts as well, and I believe all of that was settled. Everybody's got their stuff, and then they're, cool with their items.
I believe we put it. I think we put it all in the haversack, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Fair
at the end,
enough.
I think at the end of the day, most of us are probably gonna end up with that Dove, but I know there's like nothing.
We're just gonna stack it all in Dove to make Dove as broken and overpowered as possible.
Yes, please.
I
But
mean,
I'm
it
down
works,
to-
it works.
I'm down to take the belt and the quiver, but the hair, some of those would be redundant on me, so those can go to anyone else.
So we'll go ahead, unpause here, let it kick off. The game is open. The map is active. Please proceed.
I could do with a whole ass redundant Zelda. Let's see. Friends,
Double Zelda.
let's report our accomplishment to the village head.
I'll leave that to you, Juan who leads.
Lead the
follow
way.
you.
I have not been here.
If I remember right, yeah, this guy. Here. Sir Jartran.
Oh, Daddy.
Welcome back, all of you. I suppose it is fortuitous that you would be arriving now. There has been some changes. I assume that this is because of all of you. Have you done it?
We are glad to report that the Oni that has been plaguing this village has been dispatched.
We thought nearly as much. You can see we've already begun to redouble efforts to start work. And I have good news. Follow me, please. And he will open the door in front of himself and step into the building, leaving it open for you to follow.
Well, guess we'll be following.
Very quaint.
Lying in bed, there is another, what looks to be one of the mini lumberjacks.
Pine Reaper.
That's a
Coffins.
fucking cool name. Visor Pine Reaper.
Because coffins are made of pine.
Nice. It's Nick.
And, they're cutting down trees.
It's Nick Offerman.
It is Nick Offerman.
That's almost why I picked the art. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this kind of looks like Nick Offerman. I like that.
Tell us about how you made a chair.
This is another one of our number. This is Pfizer. They were at the work site when the worst of the Oni's effects took hold, and they were riddled with twigs and leaves and nettles from the pine trees, and it had rendered them catatonic and in a dying state. You never asked to examine or look at any of the effects, so we simply allowed Pfizer to continue to rest while you took off. But I'm happy to report, and you can see around the bed, around where Pfizer is currently resting, and who slowly blinks their eyes open and looks around. There is a collection of all sorts of leaves, nettles, twigs, now lying on the ground, some of which are stained crimson, some of which are still a little bit wet. The collection of the, I suppose, debris that had been embedded in our friend here fell out almost quite suddenly, and he seemed to fully take a turn for the better. So whatever you've done seems to have removed the Oni's effects and the curses that they put upon us and upon the lands. So thank you. you may have rightfully saved Pfizer's life.
This one is glad to hear it. Had Pfizer been mentioned upon our first arrival, it would have had to look at it.
Well, we'd meant to, but you seemed so confident and sure of yourselves that we didn't want to slow you down.
Fair enough.
The problem has been taken out at the root.
Thank you, all of you. You are truly, we are in your debt. Now,
Does Pfizer look like it still has wounds?
they look like what you could see on Pfizer isn't what looks like to be like cuts or anything, but there are what look to be almost like welts that are just all over that may have been where they embedded there rapidly, as far as you can tell, from the fact that they were embedded in his flesh. They seem to be healing quickly, as there are again no gaping wounds, I suppose.
Okay, good. So it's not just the nettles all fell out, but the wounds are all still open.
It does. It seems as if whatever might have been happening to this individual has been largely reversed, and they are well on their road to recovery.
Yeah, he's out of danger. He can save resources.
Mhm.
But now I believe that the lot of you had something you wanted to discuss, something that you wanted
Indeed.
us to help you with, correct?
Correct. The supply to the farming village of insert name here.
Oh, I believe that'd be Tumac. I've heard of it.
Indeed. If they could be supplied with lumber as soon as possible, it would expedite their return to production.
Of course, we should be happy to share our resources with them. After all, I believe the trade agreement that your representatives had been giving all of us and had allowed us to take a look at seemed to be that we would join in some sort of like great trade network, agreeing to share resources and for the betterment and the furtherment of all of us. Yes.
Yes, this one believes you would find it very beneficial.
I could definitely say that you are quite right. We'd be happy to share our lumber, especially if they're happy to share their grain and their other fruits of their labor from the farming. It would certainly improve eating conditions around here. Less dried meats and old gruel.
Indeed.
There,
There is something else.
Yes?
We have been made aware of further complications further to the east. But to reach and offer our aid in time, we would require some mode of transportation other than our own feet. Would you be able to provide such a thing?
Lanky pauses for a moment, his face kind of twisting up in a little bit of, you could see the wheels turning as he considers. Well, we do, of course, have many of the carts and wagons, but that is mostly for transporting lumber, and we would use those to send resources to Tumac and to, I believe, Bannock too is where we were going to send some as well to aid in the defense there. But yes, I believe we could spare a cart and one of the horses for all of you to use if you would so wish.
It would greatly aid us, yes. Seldov, you wished to interject.
I did have something in mind, but it seems Lanky is well aware of the coming storm against which we are to serve as a bulwark. So your and their, Tumac, their assistance in providing provisions, supplies, would be of great help. this problem with the Oni was handled, but not without a great deal of sacrifice by some of us. So as much assistance as you can offer would be of great help in our future purposes and towards helping to close these wounds.
Of course, any aid we are able to grant, we would be happy to do so. What is it you're searching for? We don't have much, mind you.
Do keep in mind that everything will be compensated in due form and time.
That is to Lankeith, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess sure.
Yeah, Lankeith, in fact, go ahead, give me an insight check real quick, see if you get a good read on him as he considers and mulls over your words.
Ugh.
He's fully on your side, in your pocket. He is willing and able to help and do anything and everything possible to assist you all.
Well, I might consider. Two of us are actually quite speedy on our feet and in terrains that are often unsuitable for travel. But if there could possibly be 2 or 3 horses put upon this cart, that would help with these 3 who would ride within. And as far
Give
as...
me persuasion with advantage.
Ooh, wonderful.
Whenever you're done.
Ugh. Fucking yuck.
Yeesh.
Lankeith considers for a
Bonfire's not
moment,
terrible either, but...
studying Dove before finally. Would that I could. I absolutely would, but I do not believe we can spare the horses if we are to get the lumber to Bannock 2 and to Tumak as quickly as possible to also aid in the defenses to come. We will be moving rapidly, and I hope to have a shipment to Tumak at least by tonight, and to Bannock 2 by the morning.
Too true. That would spread us rather thin. But in regards to this further problem, we should hopefully be able to make do with this cart. Whether and I can travel on foot very quickly.
That would likely make the wagon move just a little bit faster, not having to haul as much weight. Not, of course, to say any of you are quite heavy.
Quick interjection, because I want to make sure: is he just giving us the cart, or is there a cart and a horse attached to it?
Cart with a horse
horse.
attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't. Things were blanking there for a moment. Never mind then. Ignore my interjection.
Yeah, 1 horse. I was hoping for 2. That way we could drive them harder and go faster. But with the 3 of you in the cart, it should be okay. Hell, one who leans could ride Aiden. But yes, I too
Could
true.
almost help pull as well, if anything.
Oh, he would try so hard. He's like golden retriever sized, right? Or is he bigger than that? He's like pit bull sized.
He'd probably, Aiden about this point is,
Dane.
I'd say like big, like it's definitely a big dog. It looks like German Shepherd size about.
Okay. Within the medium sized dog range.
I prefer my cat-sized little shoulder dragon.
He's baby.
That one is much more cat size, absolutely.
Chibiusuke. Ooh, Chibiusuke cast fairy magic and lighten the cart.
I don't have that spell.
This
Oh,
one
gee,
might
good
be
point,
able
Mark.
to. This one might be able to assist with the speed of the cart.
If you turn into a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, perfect. Fucking awesome. That's right. You are not stuck in that form, are you? Well, your assistance with the cart and the the one horse is already greatly appreciated. We don't want to spread too thin, otherwise we wouldn't be able to deal with all of these fires at once. But in regard to the issue we're going to deal with here shortly, you're a camp of strong backs, laborers, folks who work well throughout the day. Do you have any sort of nourishment, any sort of potions, tinctures that help you with your strength and stamina? Something that could bolster our strength and stamina in the tribulations to come.
Lankeith nods almost immediately, as if not only was this anticipated, but he's happy to assist. Indeed, actually, I have some of the things here. As soon as we felt the change in the winds, and you can feel the lightness in the air around us, as soon as that happened, I began to put together this for you. And he slings a small
Wonderful.
pack off of his shoulder and holds it out to one who leans.
Oh, good. I imagine he has the enthusiasm of like a bodybuilder who was just asked about a supplement routine.
Basically, yes. Just like, yo, you want a juice? We got you, homie. So he will hand this small shoulder pouch over to one who leans.
This one appears to have acquired creatine.
Ooh, muscle milk.
Now, I do, again, want to emphasize that we don't have much. These were what I was able to scrounge together from amongst the entirety of the camp, but there are 2 potions of healing in there, 3 of these talismans that will help you to heal yourself or your friends, and a potion that I myself have been holding on to for quite some time. A leftover from younger days when I was still part of the army, and, well, I found it in some ruins and held on to it.
I used to be an adventurer like you.
There are 2 potions of healing in there,
Till he
3
became a
talismans
daddy.
of resurgence, and a potion
Ah.
of giant strength.
Oh, yes, exactly what I was thinking
Sweet.
about. Yeah. Strong
I-
boys.
Mommy.
I believe I speak for all of us when I say this is more than enough. Thank you very much for your help.
Mhm.
Indeed.
Ooh, what
Although-
kind of giant?
Seldev and Yuzora, you've been confronted with the issue we're about to offer our aid with. Is there anything in particular that we could find here that would help us?
Would I have seen, or because I know we came here really quickly, would I have seen or noticed anything that would help us fight a group of Fae and their goddess?
Bear traps.
Nothing that would likely give you any sort of a leg up in the situation.
Unless you think
I like
creatively.
I like the bear trap idea.
Yozora's going to shake their head. From everything I've seen so far, I don't think this village has anything, is not equipped for us to pilfer, if you will, a way to even the odds any more than the group of us going there if we decide to go there.
I could think of a few things. What we understand about this, what you've been able to deduce from your understanding of this Fey creature and her congregation, is that she depends entirely on their presence and can restore them at will when they are fallen. So, anything we can do to stymie them once they have fallen, anything we can do to keep them down would be great. Something like traps, something like nets, anything that could hinder their combat capabilities once dropped.
Going by
Philomene
what I
will
remember. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Philomene will just bring a sword and tap the blade as if to try and indicate something.
Clearly, Philomene will be doing her best to mow the grass, as it were.
Philomene will shake her head and she'll tap again the blade and then maybe look around and tap one of the nails in the wall.
I don't think, if I'm understanding this right, that we can
Pinning them
nail
down.
them down quite
We could
literally.
try. We could try. We don't know exactly how she's capable of raising them, but if she just
Yes.
lifts their bodies up, pinning their bodies down will help us, as they're vulnerable
Well-
in corpses.
Given what I pulled from the wiki check, would I have an understanding of how she would do the resurrection? Would they, like, we strike them down, they poof in the dust, and then she pulls out a blood moon and they resurrect wherever the heck she chooses?
I don't think we were given that much information, but we can
That's
just
what I'm asking.
we can just consider eventualities.
Mark, I gotta ask a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Looking around the cabin, does Philomene see anything like a horseshoe or anything like that?
Make me a perception check. And to answer you, Yuzora, what the information you've gleaned, the ability that she has to return her minions to her side is fully a divine, godlike ability.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As you take a look around, Philomene, you do not notice any tokens of luck, such as horseshoes. The nails that you can see don't appear to be made of anything other than just simple steel. There's nothing, as far as your knowledge and understanding of Fae and their weaknesses, there's nothing in the vicinity that looks like it would be of any extra benefit, unfortunately.
Oh,
Right.
iron.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any insight on how she's able to resurrect them. I know Fey magic and magic in general. The divine isn't exactly something I'm well versed in.
Well-
Philomene will go up to one who leans and mimic for paper and pen.
Well, with what we do know, with what you have been able to understand, we do not necessarily, as much as powerful as the full round of information would be, we do not have it, but we can fill in our own blanks and try to plan for what we can with what is available to us. Something is better than nothing. Do you have any bear traps? Any quick deployed punji pits? Any nets? Any bolas? Any weighted immobilizing devices? Something that can be placed so that should these little pixie creatures be brought back up in a spot, they will feel it.
Does one who lean give any paper to Philomene?
Sure.
Philomene will grab the paper, scribble 2 words on the paper, and then hand it to Zelda.
Hmm?
On the paper, the 2 words, cold iron.
Or any cold iron.
Lankeith considers for a moment, then slowly, but then a little bit quicker, begins to shake their head. No, I'm afraid. As far as bear traps and the like, there are a few, of course, out in the forest around the encampment, but they're of no special make or material. They're just simple, mundane bear traps, and most of them are in place and baited, just in case. As far as the rest of us, most we have are hatchets and axes, I suppose, but nothing of any of the special material, no cold iron, as you note.
It's all right. We're just trying to get some more resources to help us deal with other threats.
Of course.
Do you have...
And we do have rope, I suppose, and nets, but
No, that doesn't do...
not really any that is more than, used to wrap and lift and move logs.
Guess there's no actual bears here.
It's civilized enough that bears would be further out in the wilderness. They don't really bother them much.
It's more of a logging camp rather than a hunting
No,
camp, sadly.
That's what I'm assuming. I mean, like, if there were actual bears like around, probably would have had that. But that's what I'm assuming.
And if the bears are out, then if the traps are out, I mean, I guess they got their meager
Yozora was going to
supplies.
turn to Dove as well. And it's like, and now that I'm thinking about it, while the traps would probably be a good idea, remember what we saw that they were doing to the village? They were very likely, unless they were magical in nature or tuned to us somehow, that these Fae would be able to turn them against us relatively easily.
Their trickery is immature. But save for any other ideas of what we might be able to do to turn the tables on them, to mitigate, to stem the flow of resurrection. Then it will be up to us.
And that is if we decide to go back there. We are on a time limit, unfortunately.
Well, if we have our card.
Indeed. This should solve the issue of time.
Well then, thank you for your assistance, Mr.
Yes, we are infinitely grateful.
Dub never got his name.
Lankeith
Lenkeith.
Jotrin.
Yeah, I see it, but Dub never got it. Mr. Lankheath. Your assistance, or recompense, has been appreciated. We should probably hit the road and deal with this post haste.
Yes, if you could guide us to the available card, we will proceed.
Of course. It'd be just outside, over by one of the large lumber yards out there. Let me take you there.
Okay, I'm gonna head out and immediately wild ship into a draft horse.
Should it? You know what? I'm not going to say anything.
As we exit the building, I'll turn to Wither. You have experience in the wilds with hunting, trapping, tracking.
Yes.
Do you know of any techniques that we could use with available implements to put traps about when we drop these fucking little pixies?
As Zora was mentioning, what would prevent them from using them against us?
Don't fucking step in them.
That's a good point.
I have a pair of manacles. If their bodies are dropped and just picked back up by this divine power, that should be helpful in itself. I have rope.
And I have some extra myself. We could maybe.
If they are dispelled back to the Feywild or whatever, and then brought back in a flash of light, then it's fine. Then let that be so, but we won't know until we see it, and we won't be able to benefit from any foresight. Information gathering is its own victory, and we have seen, and we have learned.
Mhm.
We have the benefit of having that knowledge at all to be able to use it. So we should try.
I could see about maybe fashioning a trap, a leg hold trap to maybe catch them off guard if they run towards us.
Some of them, most of them, have the capability of flight, but I think the one with the hammer might have been more ground-born. Most of them, including this Simon, of course, can fly. But when bodies hit ground, they'll have to stand back up, typically.
Mog,
Typically, yeah.
Yes.
Table, Mog.
he's the wrong horse.
For these purposes, it's good enough.
Fair enough.
Where'd you go? Oh,
I don't know, if we start fighting and I'm still a horse, it could become relevant. We'll see.
walking and talking.
Yep.
Felmy will have a quick look at the kitchen to see if he can spot the cook.
Let me check my pack and see what else I've got.
And I am, of course, positively lousy with darts and daggers. I do have a net. I have a mace here for some fucking reason. And a longsword. These aren't... shit, no, these aren't iron, are they? These are steel.
Thank you.
Does the quartermaster or whoever's in charge of the camp's provision in the mess hall?
We'll find out in just a second. So the rest of the party, as you gather over here, Lankeith will lead you to where there is a cart and will himself wander off to grab a horse and return it and begin to hitch it and hook it up, and will give a strange look at one who leans, who is now a draft horse, and try to indicate, like, do you want me to hook you up too?
I'm gonna nod.
In which case, Lankeith will also assist in making sure that one who leans is hooked up to the cart.
Turns toward the other one.
Thank you.
Hello, fellow horse.
The other horse will say, "First time here."
Why
Alright,
the
and
long face?
we'll come back to that in a second. And Philomene, as you step into what
Oh,
is
yes,
very
fine.
much the the
I like
hall, the
The mess hall.
lounge, the gathering area, I suppose, for the camp. There is
So
no
cute.
sounds or presence of other individuals within. It seems that everybody else has moved out for the day and is out completing tasks, but none of the doors are locked or barred. So if you'd like, you can take a look around. You do see things like, rolls and, like fruit, though they all look a little bit, maybe not in the best condition. Like the rolls are a little bit stale. The fruit looks like it's a little bruised.
Well-
But you can look around if you'd like.
And remind me,
Hi,
when
Nancy.
Felmy first got her new cooking equipment, did she get any cooking
Or I can do
ingredients
it.
along with that?
I can
You
try.
do have some basic cooking
I did.
ingredients. You have some spices, some different like herbs, like a little bit like probably
I did it.
some like wheat if you wanted to make your own bread. You've got some flour on you.
But thank you. I should let you
Nothing
do it so you
too-
could test it. But oh,
Extravagant or
Thank
wild.
you.
If you wanted to look for other
I love
things,
this
like if you
dress.
wanted to look for, I don't know, like
Got a big
maybe
boat
like some
neck.
nuts or some fruit, or like cheeses or dried meats,
I'll take the
any
compliment
of
like a
that,
bottom.
you could take a look around and see what they've got for sure.
Me?
Right. I'd look for anything that would be good for cooking a particularly good meal. And
Go
if you
ahead
don't have
and-
anything,
It's Slappy.
Go ahead and make a perception check. Yeah, poke around and look and see what you can find.
yeah, that's bad.
So Philomene,
Wow,
it
that
seems
was
is
bad.
still.
Yeah, the dice
just-
aren't liking us today.
Yeah, right. Are you guys sure you want to fight this other person?
Getting out of the way.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll get him out of the way. But it seems that Philomene is still a little bit, like, not fully present. Mine's still just a little bit, shook. And
That's
so,
yeah.
as you're looking around, you are just trailing like your fingers along, like the shelves. Nothing really is sticking out. Nothing seems to, oh, I should really grab that. For the most part. You do, however, find that there is a sack of walnuts that you can make use of. They seem to be in good condition. They're not squishy or anything. They seem to be fairly good, I guess, lack of a better term. There are also some dried berries that you find. Looks like they might have been blackberries, maybe some like
Raisins.
some raspberries or something, but they have been dried out, and so they're well preserved. Just they're not going to be the juicy, moist ripeness that you might be looking for. And there is, of course, also a couple of like hunks of cheese that you can take should you wish.
Do the cheese look at least passable or?
Yeah, the cheese looks like it was definitely edible. There's like no mold or anything growing on it.
Right. She'll take a hunk and then she'll go about trying to find a quartermaster to pay for it.
No mold, so it's not very good cheese.
No,
Of
none of the
course
wrong
you would
kind
say
of mold.
that.
None of the wrong kind of mold.
Fucking gross.
As far as you can tell, there does not seem to be anybody around that is currently in charge of or concerned with the stores and the items in the kitchen and the pantry. There is, however, a basket in the pantry left on one of the shelves that has a note of donations for, if you're looking for a specific item of food, or if you want to just help buy like maybe better food, better ingredients, and you just want to see, the general campment get a little bit of a treat. There is a basket where you can leave money that will be used to procure supplies.
That sounds wonderful. How much at a quick glance does the cheese look like it's worth?
Oh, anything you've come across so far, all of it together is worth like 3 silver, honestly.
Bellamy will take out the 2 gold piece and leave them in there.
Oh,
For
look,
2
an
gold, you can-
economy breaks
Yeah,
it.
for 2 gold, you could basically take anything you want in there, honestly, at this point. And if you wanted to poke around the kitchen proper itself, you can also roll another perception check in there.
While
I think
she's
I just
doing
might, yep, because I also want to see if they have any alcohol. So Felemy will leave the 2 gold and she'll have a look around the kitchen.
Absolutely, go ahead, roll me another perception check.
This time hoping for some good spirits.
Literally. And there does appear to be some alcohol, most of it used specifically for cooking, as you might imagine. Though there is, of course, some very just cheap, passable, good enough ale that seems to be what like it's natty light, basically. Just whatever gets you drunk, whatever would help your tired bones to relax and allow you to sleep after a hard day
With
of
white pairing.
lumberjacking.
I can't fucking.
But there is a
Yeah.
bottle of what looks to be cooking
push
sherry.
this.
And as you poke around the kitchen, there is a couple of small jars of what look to be local
Cheers.
spices.
Hmm.
The summer
Do I
nighty
have any?
lights,
Do I have
strawberry lemonade.
anything to? Do I have? I'll assume I have a few containers in my backpack to take just enough from each of these to cook a meal, and then she'll grab a bunch of the hail.
Yeah, with the cooking equipment that you probably have a couple of small containers you can put some of the spices in if you want to take some of those.
Yeah, she'll
You
take
can
just
take
enough.
You
Yeah,
can
go
take a
ahead.
bottle of the cooking sherry, by all means. There seems to be enough that you can take a bottle if you want the whole bottle. And if you want to get a flagon of the ale, you can also do that.
Yeah, the hail she'll take a good amount, enough to get really drunk off.
Okay, okay.
So we can play bunions and flagons.
Oh my god.
And she'll pack all of that away.
Oh,
Okay.
something will occur to Dove. Oh, hold on a second. You all have a kitchen available, yes?
Son of a bitch. Landkeith will look up from where he's readying the horses and will give a fairly a little nod. Just yes, we have a kitchen, of course, pantry and all that, stocked up with not much, mind you. Again, it's a very simple little camp, but you might get lucky. There might be something you like.
Which way?
Do you like dried meats and cheese?
I've been known to partake. Which way? Which building?
It was the large one there in the center. And he points past the lumber yards to the very large lodge.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Of course.
As Wither was kind of walking by, can I see? Is there any kind of materials that I could use for kind of almost like at least a couple makeshift bolas to use as weapons, so to speak?
There is rope that they're using to secure some of the bundles of the logs, and there are of course stones that you could craft into a makeshift bola for sure.
What would I need to do to start working on that as we are getting prepared to go?
A survival check.
Sounds good. I like that. I like those words.
Nay.
Not as much as I thought I would.
I don't suppose using my magic I could possibly help him with those tying knots and whatnot.
You have hands.
Yeah, but magic's a little bit more for my forte.
Not everything can be solved with magic.
If you would like to offer the help action to assist Wither and allow advantage on that roll, you may.
That's the whole idea.
Oh,
Well,
Wow.
apparently I can't help worth shit.
Bellamy. You might have had this. I see you might have had the same idea.
At the sound of your voice, Philomene almost looked like she jumps out of your skin, and clearly did not expect to see you as she exited.
You all right?
She'll look like a kid caught red-handed, but then just wave away like it's nothing.
All right. Did you find any cold iron?
And she'll just shrug her shoulders.
Oh, well, let me have a look. I'll go
Get
and
some iron. You get some ice.
I'll go into the kitchens and look around or ask around. Excuse me, is it? Oh, no, wrong one. Excuse me, where is everybody? What the hell? All right, well, fuck it. I'll look around for a frying pan, for a cast iron, frying pan.
I didn't realize we were in PUBG.
Not even needing to roll your passive perceptions, you take a look around. There's absolutely probably a set of pots and pans you can make a do with if you'd like. You absolutely can find a frying pan.
Definitely. Frying pans are usually going to be iron. Like other pots and pans, lighter materials, lighter metals, but frying pan or a wok or whatever. I will take that frying pan. Feel it. Heavy.
Yeah, it's definitely some sort of cast iron, most likely.
Oh. Good. I guess they were only thinking about weapons, but you know how Faye and their fuckery goes. I'll put it on my belt because, of course, that's the thing.
Put on your belt, your pants just fall off.
Oh, shit. Skinny.
Remember the rule of a frying pan. If you look at it and have any doubt that the pan will break before the skull of someone you bash it with, throw the pan to the trash.
Seems pretty hefty.
I'm going to be honest. I'm now waiting for the cast iron spell joke.
I almost did that joke.
So I'll take the frying pan, say, cold steel, and I'll hand Bellamy the frying pan. Cold iron, I mean. Cold iron. No, hand her it.
Quick check, Marg.
This is a Faye thing, isn't it?
Would the simple iron of a cast pan work as cold iron, or
It
is
does not, unfortunately.
No,
that's what I thought?
it's an
Feel me.
entirely different mineral.
It's a very specific type of metal, yeah.
That's what I figured. Philomene will just look at the pan, shake her head, and hand it back to Zelda.
But hey, free
Backpack.
frying pan.
Yeah, get a frying pan. I just remember the episode of Gargoyles where they made a bell of iron.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that
I need to go back.
made from the shackles that held the Oberon and Titania group?
I need to go.
Or am
watch
I
that show
misremembering?
again.
Because it's been a long time since I've watched
Maybe.
Gargoyles.
Manacles.
But
yes, Yozora
iron nonetheless.
would absolutely also recognize that is just normal iron, not cold iron.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not the type of iron we need. If we do go through with this, it's going to be whatever we have on us.
Come now, you're smart, I'm told. You can, I'm sure, do something with the information that we work so hard to acquire. Going in blind is one thing, but we have gleaned some information and have the blessed opportunity to prepare. Something is better than nothing.
Believe me, I have been thinking about this. I'm just trying to... The magic she wields is not something I am familiar with, this resurrection power of hers. And again, with what the Fae themselves were doing to the village, I'm worried that any traps we do try and set up, if we have the time to set them up, are just going to be, I don't know, used against us somehow. You mentioned going from when we were there that you touched a boat and it sank to the bottom of the river and then came right back up.
That's their domain. That's their stuff. That's what they had plenty of opportunity to fuck with and curse and blight. By the very same token, I could be worried about attacking them for fear that they would turn my swing back against myself. We have to take action and not be afraid to do so.
It's not the taking action I'm worried about right now.
These are actions. These are actions fed by the information we've gleaned. we know what you figured out how she operates. Anything we can do to facilitate that will put us at a desperate advantage.
Before I respond to that, given that we now have a horse, how long will it take us, or a horse-drawn trolley, whatever this was, how long will it take us to get there to get back to where the Fae were?
All right, so mechanically speaking, let's talk a little bit about that. You've got 2 horses now and a cart, and I believe Wither and Dove were going to, I guess, run alongside.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
I'm a fast boy.
I sure can't keep up with a horse.
Leaving Yozora and Philemy to actually ride with the cart itself. So the amount of weight you'll be putting in it is fairly insignificant. And the fact that you have a couple of your individual companions here who are able to move as fast, honestly, if not faster, than the horses and the cart, with also one who leans assisting, you will be able to get back with plenty of time that if you wish to take care of the Fae and the problems for Chinpo, you will be able to do so before night has come and you will likely need to sleep.
Sounds good to me.
Great.
Next question is, how long is it going to take us? How long do we have till the war?
The soldiers should be within the field of engagement that Pawnee wants to hold the fight in by tomorrow mid-ish afternoon. Thinking, anywhere from like 2:30 to 3 in the afternoon kind of thing.
Yeah,
Easy clap.
opening ceremonies don't start until 2 p.m.
So again, with the cart and everything, if you get back to Chinpo, take on the Fae, do so
Fancy.
and handle them quickly, you'll have plenty of time to also speak to the rest of the individuals in Chinpo to, secure and whatever those resources, and we'll have plenty of time. You'll likely need to stop to rest somewhere in the wilderness before you get back, but you'll have plenty of time that you will get back to Bonnock 2 in the morning and have the morning and lunch and then the very early afternoon before you need to worry about engaging, which will leave you time then to build resources, to make a plan, to strategize, to speak with the celestial dwarves that you were expecting to be waiting for you.
Because the time management thing was was Yozora's big concern. Was, do we have enough time to do all of this? It's not, do we have time? It's not the traps and whatnot. It's, do we have time to actually handle the threat down here that we left behind and get back and do the responsibilities we actually desperately need to do?
You will likely not have extra time to set up traps and defenses against the Fae. That it's going to be a matter of, okay, we're here, they're over in this area, let's go fuck them up.
It's not about setting up. It's not about Batman prep time. It's when we drop one of these little fuckers, we put a
trap so that when
put a fucking tack in their chair so that when they pop back up, they have a problem to deal with. And
no,
they can't just
the prep time I'm talking about was with the dealing with the Iron, because I remember from last session, the Iron Mog mentioned that the less time we spend back at Bonnock 2 before the war, the less time we have to set up the battlefield to our liking.
As it was.
But thankfully, the problem's pretty much solved.
Right, we have the horses and cart. That was the linchpin. If we didn't have that, then we wouldn't have time to talk to the Celestial Dwarves, talk to the people we have, the tacticians.
Yeah, that's why I was double checking and confirming that before I made my response to this. It's like, okay. Because that was what I was having Yozora base their reactions on. Do we have the time to go back there and fuck up the Fae?
Yeah, we're pretty much good now.
Okay, so
yep, basically it was now the sense of
that's what
basically the morning is going to be when we're going to be doing our final preparations for our big battle is what I'm understanding.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that was my concern. That's why I was double checking before I responded here.
Yep.
Okay, so Dove. Okay, where was I? Thought
Later.
process.
We're
Oh
going.
yeah, we have information.
What was the last question Dove asked, just to make sure I'm got my thought processes lined up here?
It was an assertion that you have been able to pick apart the notions of what this thing's greatest strength is, and that is that and weakness, that it's fucking invulnerable until all its little shits are done, and then when it's its turn, it can bring its little shits back up. So
Okay.
because you pick that information apart, we are blessed with knowing something more than nothing, and we're not going in blind.
Okay. Yozora's gonna listen to that, look up to the sky, doing mental calculations, and then looking at Dove and not Dove, sorry, one who leans in the cart we have. It's like mental calculations. Okay, yeah. If we are fast enough, we should be able to handle this. But yeah, we need to definitely strike down her 4 at the time subordinates.
Yes.
But
Yes.
before we can do any damage to her, and from what I recall, it is not a guarantee for her to be able to summon them back immediately, from what I understood.
Well, that would be great.
However, just as a word of warning from what I was paying attention to when we fled the last time, we fled and they immediately started pouring more faith, I guess is the best way to put into the goddess, into that false wannabe queen. So I don't know if she's going to be more powerful.
In a day, I would doubt it. Anything I understand
better
of God
question
is that it's all a matter of time and faith and such and such and such. But it sounded like they were rejoicing and just reveling in their pride that we had left.
So, are they expecting us to come back so quickly?
I would expect that they would be expecting at least me to be aiming, but come strike back at them. Because they are traitors to the Feywild. Whether it's how fast I come back or not, I could not tell you.
They may be, they may not be, but we do know where there are other threats that we can avoid as we go back. So we should be able to get straight to them. We know exactly where they are. How long would it take you to weave that hair into something you have?
Me or Filsamy?
Somebody. Anybody.
It would have to be done over a long rest,
Long
basically.
rest. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, so we don't
Sure.
have the time for that.
All right.
That'll have to be something for later.
Well then, I would be delighted to hold on to that belt and quiver, please. I think I
While
could
they're
All
talking,
yours.
help. Thank you.
And Wither pulls it out of the haversack and hands it to Dove.
I might be able to do a little something with this.
while they're talking, Felmy will just sit in the coach bench of the cart and get ready to drive the cart.
Thank you. I'll put it on.
With the horses ready and hitched up, the cart at this point set for all of you to head off. Lankeith will give it a quick once over, making sure all is in order. Giving a glance towards Philemy, then of course back to the horse who leans. And will approach Wither.
Yes, thank you.
Now I'm afraid I don't know your 2 newer companions who have joined you since yesterday. But you 3, we spoke a little bit, and you have performed admirably. I understand you are in a bit of a pickle, and you are up against some insurmountable odds. I have something, a bit of a personal thank you, that I wish to offer. And you see his face, there's definite, like, hesitation. Like, he's really mulling this over before he finally draws a deep breath. Here, it has served me well for many years, and it has always been a faithful companion and a useful tool. I hope it serves you all well. He will sling his axe off his shoulder and hand it out to you, Wither.
Wither holds his hands out graciously, looks at him straight in the eye. It's like, are you sure about this?
I am. There are other axes, there are other things with which I can do my job here. This has simply been a companion I've always kept at my side ever since I was a captain in the army. It has served me well, and it has fallen many foes who stood against me, but I think that it might be better off in your hands. Young hands, strong hands. Please, use it. Make a difference if you can.
Wither graciously wraps his hands around the the hilt of the axe, looks at it, holds it in one hand, the other hand claps on Lanky's shoulder. I will treat it well, and it will come to a very good use. Thank you, my friend.
Lankeith nods, clapping you on the opposite shoulder as he finally removes his hand from the axe, officially giving it to you. You are now the owner of Lankeith's axe.
Let's see. Oh. Oh.
You should be able to see what it does there.
Oh my.
But if not, it is a great axe mechanically, +2 to attacks and damage rolls. It has a higher than normal critical hit rate threshold, meaning that on 18 through 20, it crits. And if you attack a creature that is of a plant type, such as if you were to fight a piney, which is a humanoid type plant individual, or any sort of monster or creature that has, plants, such as the dryads were, such as like a shambling mound would be, it does double damage.
Well, Wither inspects it and is like, he's just taken aback, and he just
Woof.
pulls out a whetstone and generously takes a minute and gives it a once over real quick and gives it the proper respect.
As you run the whetstone along the edge of its bladed side, arcs of magic seem to spark off of it. Good luck, all of you. Now, I must be seeing about getting back to work. I have some carts to load and take down to Tumak, and another set to head out to Bannock 2.
From the cart, Felemy will give about to Lankeith.
Wither bows greatly to him and starts to head to the front of up in front of one who leans and starts spotting for trees to jump between on the path that they need to go.
Yozora will clamber into the cart and get comfortable.
Lackheath will nod, giving a friendly nod of the head towards Philemy and a bit of a smile before stepping into the lumberyard with one of the other individuals, and will raise a hand, waving as you all head out. All right, so the journey, and I don't remember if we did this or not, but you should all have had a short rest. So if you haven't given yourself a short rest yet, go ahead and do so now.
That would be very appreciated. 'Cause I remember last time I used all my spell slots.
And that will even count for one who leans. You can go ahead and complete a short rest,
Meow.
even if you are a horse. You're not doing anything strenuous. You're just pulling a cart. You're doing
First.
as horses do. There is, of course, quickness in your step, as there does seem to be a need and urgency to move on. So,
For the first
final check, making sure. Does the party wish to head back to the outskirts of Chinpo, to where the Fey creatures were resting?
I
I'm down for it.
Enemy is neutral.
I believe even when I said no, I'd be outvoted. So, yep, we're going.
we go. For the first little bit of this travel, I will sit in the back of the cart, so I can take out in the net and 4 daggers, and knot the handles of the daggers into the rope of the net, all 4, so that essentially there's a toothed net.
Okay.
Is there any way I can use Philemy's background as a farmhand to drive the horse to its most to its best
Efficient?
efforts? Yeah, basically to its best effort at the lowest cost to its stamina.
Absolutely. You may help with the horses. They will. They seem to not need the help so much, but they're definitely not going to complain about it. And you can help them to avoid and not overstrain themselves by all means.
There's always a good use for.
And then
There's always a
there's-
use for a good driver.
Stare at Philemy. Shake my head. It's
And-
me.
Obviously, she's only leading the other horse. She knows you know what you're doing.
It's okay. It's my pal now. We got.
Friends.
We've got a dialogue going. We're homies.
Yeah.
And Wither's going to just be at a breakneck pace, and he's going to be scouting every single step of the way. Something he is accustomed to on the road, with his vigor kind of renewed with the generosity that he has received.
6.
And he is going to do his very best to not even have us be spotted. And unless we, if at all possible.
Of our
Amazing.
gift bag, I will take 1 Talisman of Resurgence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you want to distribute the items that were in that bag, please, by all means, feel free to do so now. I will note that the potion of giant strength is of the stone giant variety, so that will increase your strength to 23.
Ooh,
That was my exact question.
tasty. But you gotta go to Philemy.
Yeah, that's got to go fill
The
me.
one thing I'll ask from Seldav and Yozora is to guide us in through the way that doesn't go through the first wave of sprites.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, yes, it is absolutely possible for you to skirt around the northern edge and not run into them and instead proceed to the shallows directly.
Yeah.
I am running a little low on potions, I believe. So
I
I
still have
may
2
take.
left.
I am. I
plenty.
believe I'm completely out. So I don't
Those
see
could be
any-
all yours.
I've got a Talisman of Resurgence still, so I'm good.
I'll take the 2 potions just to be safe, and leave the talismans for others.
Felmy will only take the potion of Arcane Strength that's handed to her. I still have 2 potions of healing, and the Talisman of Resurgence are better off in the hand of others.
I'll take all the talismans of resurgence.
I'll take one. I'll take one of those.
Okay, yeah. Take 2 then.
The idea being that hopefully I'll be the only one who's up front and taking all the damage.
Did
I
Wither
guess
one won?
Wither-
Did Wither one won a talisman?
Wither
I
can take the
just
potions.
took the 2 potions. That'll be enough. That should be good for me.
Okay.
Because I've actually got a lot of stuff too as well. So I've got a couple salves still that I haven't used, and I've got a tincture extension even as well. Now that I look at
My
this.
fucking RE4 merchant jacket is like is laden.
Oh, and I even have an alchemist's flame too. By the way, I know this is probably a stupid question to ask, but with my survival check, I doubt I got any bolos.
You do not get any well-made bolas for sure. The knots were not holding. The rocks were strangely shaped, so they're not very functional, unfortunately.
That was my thoughts. Just figured I'd double check on it just to be safe.
Mhm.
But like I said, I will be at the head of this, making sure everything is safe on our way to our destination in a very speedy fashion.
Yozora is alternating between meditating and looking lost in his own thoughts.
So meditating.
Yes.
Ideally, lost in your own thoughts. It's abnegation. After I fashion my pointy net, I will get out of the car and lighten the load and travel alongside.
Go ahead and make me a survival check with advantage as well to see how well you make this net.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Do you have a net item in your inventory
I
already?
do. Yes.
Okay, cool. And that is, I assume, what you're going to be fashioning into this pointed net, correct?
Yeah. Just the
Okay.
spaced out kind of a little radius around the middle, or a little square around the middle. Just take the rope. I only have one hand. Fuck. And just tie a little knot in each of them that would hold the daggers handles.
All right.
Loop it in. Lube it in. No, loop.
With Wither leading the way and keeping a lookout, it does seem that you managed to avoid any complications or threats along the way. But again, this is somewhat more settled and civilized wilderness. It's still, of course, open wilderness. There will still, of course, be creatures and whatnot. You may see the occasional deer running past. There may be large predators like, maybe a mountain lion or something that doesn't seem to be interested because, they know humanoids, loud noise, usually danger.
Hello,
So you were
fellow
not
animal.
you were not accosted or set upon by any of the creatures along the way. and will eventually manage to find your way to the shallows. So I will ask, do you want to bring the wagon with you to this area? Or
No,
did you
we'll
want
leave-
to
I'm thinking we'll leave it further back.
Yeah, I think
leave it
we
a
wanna
little bit
try and-
further back, turn back into mushroom, or do you want to remain a horse?
I will turn back into a mushroom.
Okay. The wagon and the current horse can be secured and left, and you can be at least relatively confident that nothing is going to murder it or any of you in the immediate future.
And when we get to the shallows, Yozora's going to be pointing at the islands. So the last time we were here, she summoned her 4 minions, 1 per island, and she herself floated in the middle there.
Just 1 second. Let me catch my breath. Just kidding.
Before we get to the shallow, there's one thing I'd like to do.
Go on.
When we get just far enough from the cart, but not close enough to the shallows that we might alert the Fey Queen or whatever, Filmy will take one of her 2 Fey granolas to try and test what happens, just to see.
You want to eat it?
Each one of
All right.
them.
Roll me
I-
a D100.
I'm actually going to do the same thing, to be honest.
And then
I
you
have-
also roll a
Uh,
D100.
Can I see them doing this and get away from them?
I mean, I don't think either one of them's trying to do it in any clandestine manner or stealthily. Are you?
I'm just making sure to keep some distance from the cart and the party, just in case. But otherwise, no.
Yozora's going to inch away. It's like, oh, they're messing with the wild magic stuff. That was the wild magic stuff they were eating, right?
It's the Fey
Yeah.
granola, not the
The clusters
cookies.
of
But
Fey
yeah.
granola that were made.
Ah, okay.
All right, we got a 22 and a 50. Okay, 1 second.
Filmy is at a point where we need advantages.
Hopefully that's what we get. And not the other word. What's the other word?
I mean, you gotta take some risks sometime.
Risk
you?
versus reward.
Bad vantages. That's what it is.
Bad advantages.
Look, Filmy doesn't have any spell slots left, so
Yeah.
if I'm going in there, I'd like to see if I can get something more than just big
I'm so-
strength and
I'm-
mash everything.
I'm kind of with you because like that's why I'm trying to go all in on like material advantages because I know some of our resources are a little thin.
Save your resources for the boss when she becomes vulnerable, and Nova on her face. as soon as
Definitely.
possible.
I mean,
Mercifully,
the percent strength will go in the first round because it's 1 hour.
oh yeah, that's for sure.
Warlock advantage.
I think mine. God, it sucks to be put on ad duty as a rogue, but yeah, I'm gonna have to.
We'll see what the roll gives us, and then Zelda, there will be one little thing I'll do.
Philomene, you eat your granola cluster, and there is a stirring of wind around you. And you
Oh.
notice that there is a faint, offensive odor that seems to surround you.
Yikes.
Oh, what is that smell?
And then
This one is
Wither-
glad.
Oh.
This one.
You're
This one
right.
is glad the size of its nostrils have reduced.
That horsey. Oh god, just big horse sinus. More opening ceremonies. Any Fey wine? Actually, yes, Nancy. Zelda brewed
Filmy will just give a disappointed sigh.
mead. He brewed Fey mead. Mead with Fey vanilla.
And then Wither. The gem you have in your possession duplicates itself, and you now have 2 of them.
Oh, cool.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that could be useful later.
Okay. I went ahead and added one to it.
Mhm.
Okay.
As we
He's like-
approach,
He feels that it's a little bit heavier. I'm like, what the? Okay.
Yeah, he feels just a little bit of like added weight suddenly, and there are now 2 gems instead of 1.
Dove is actually
Yeah,
thinking.
more money.
Dove
More
is...
money and paladin stank.
Yum yum. Oh boy. Shit.
Paladin goes into stank stance.
Stink stance. Oh no.
Oh shit. I could imagine what JoJo pose that would be.
I'd
Um,
rather not, honestly.
I'm gonna.
That aside, as we head to the shadows, Felemy will get close to Zelda for just a second, and yeah, she'll notice the smell too, and she'll smell it just for a second. She'll hand
Yes.
Zelda 4 javelins, and point of the javelins to her heart, and make a motion of one of them stabbing into the ground.
Not bad.
I am
We'll see if that'll
going.
work. We can pin them.
Yeah, it could be good if you just impale them and prevent, but I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna drink my etheric resonance draft.
By all means, go ahead.
I'll look to Wither, look to Felomir. Step away from Felomir a little, just
Yeah, Felemy, as soon as she hands you the javelin, she steps away because she knows she stinks right now.
take this Fey Trail mix out of my pocket. Fucking Fey bullshit.
Indeed.
Skull.
I'm above table. I
eat
can't
it.
help but wonder if that Philome's odor is going to help her fight. The opponent
Maybe.
doesn't want to be near her.
Ew, yucky. Some of the smart mouth little sprites like, oh god, just imagine Salubra being here. You fucking stink, bitch.
Philmy, roll me a d10, please.
A D10, yes?
Mm-hmm.
As they're all doing that, I am going to pull out my great axe, and I will add the salve of basic frost weapon enhancement to it.
Nice.
Okay, okay.
I don't think I got a salve. Did I get a salve? I think I did. I think I got a deadliness one. But I don't think I could have. God, I'm not allowed to fuck with my sheet, and I don't know why.
Felemy will make sure to stand a little away from the rest of the party, just because she's aware of her stank.
See if I can add frying pan, and if it saves, that'd be great.
Now, do I need to do anything for the for that on my axe for right now?
No, just remember that you have the extra d6 cold. I mean, I'm gonna make a note of it as well.
You got it.
Yeah, just keep that in mind.
I have consumed Fey bullshit.
You're going to eat the granola cluster?
I will.
Roll me that d100.
Gotta fight the Fae with the Fae.
Isn't that why I'm here? And also Philome over there?
We need more Fae. Always more Fae.
All right.
Mixing hot sauce into my Fritos.
Dove, you feel a little bit more confident. You feel a little bit extra handsome.
Mm,
You're feeling good.
nice. Well, if we don't slay them with violence, I'll simply slay them. I'll slay them with cunt.
Bruh.
I'm sorry, this is gonna be above table, but you did that whole slaying and everything, and you finished that last line, and one of my phone alerts, which is Midna from Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess, giggling.
Oh, hell yes. She gets it. If anyone, Midna gets it.
Minda gets it, yes.
Yeah, but I'm just like, well, timing, Midna, timing.
I'm gonna just like make a break for it and go from here. I want to hide in this tree and just be secret.
Also, I saw some short rests before. Did we short rest?
Yes.
We short
Yes,
rested.
everybody should have the benefits of a short rest.
It was from the previous day, but yes.
Yeah, it was the last session at the very end there was discussion of it, so you would have all had a chance to take a short rest before heading out.
I'll take it.
And Wither kind of follows, but he stops at the rock and perches up on top of it.
Okay.
Right behind.
Since,
Pyum, pyum.
since we're all in prep mode, can I try and sense the what's it, Fenny? What's her name?
Damn it.
You may absolutely go ahead and do an Arcana check. One who leans could do a religion check. But yes, you can-
Motherfuck!
you have
Please don't
advantage
mess
on the
up.
roll because you are familiar with the magic and the I guess the area as well.
Mhm.
I'll take the 23.
Okay.
Your daddy fuck.
And can actually no, this would not be considered a forest area, so I cannot use natural explorer on this.
It's what they call a water forest.
And
thanks,
your I was just gonna say your strength should be a 23 now. I should have just adjusted that for you, so that should be working.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if there was a temporary slot for that or whatever.
No, I just have again the note that it's been upped.
Now, how big is this rock that I'm on, by the way? Like height wise.
It is 10 feet high at its peak.
I will be at the very top of it.
Okay. One who leans, you can absolutely sense divine energy in the area, and it seems to be growing at the moment. Yozora, you again sense the magic in the area, and even before you are able to give utterance to it, you feel a surge suddenly as a individual splashes out of the water once more.
I am hiding in this tree, by the way, if I may stealth up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, roll your stealth. Should
Now we're
have
talking.
advantage on that, I believe.
Oh, sick.
Is it possible for me to stealth on this as well?
Oh, sick.
Unfortunately not. There's no cover up there for you.
Fair enough.
Felmy will
27, okay?
carefully make her way close enough to the island, but not too close to not trigger hostilities early.
Ah, so you've returned. And you've brought more friends this time. Is this... Oh, no, it can't possibly be. This is all of you, isn't it? The cantankerous, troublemaking individuals that the Empire seems to be so very interested in.
You
This
say
one greets you.
interested. Never mind. One leans beat me to it.
And we greet you as well. Now, have you all come to surrender? Quietly, happily, gratefully? Or have you come looking for trouble?
Oreo, hi. Hi.
This one has been informed of your dealings with the Empire. This
That's
does
so
not
cute.
serve a future in which your remaining here is possible.
This one serves.
So cordial. Why did you not bring this one before? They are so very polite and well spoken.
They had prior obligations.
I see. Well,
This one would inquire, although it does not expect a favorable answer. However, the offer must be made.
Again.
What would it take for you to renege on your engagement with our adversary?
an interesting question, and there does, in fact, exist a peaceful way to end all this, I assure you. The humanoids and settlers in the village, and she gestures towards where Chinpo is, they must be removed from the area. The fishing must stop, and you must give up this area to myself and my followers. It will fully belong to all of us. It will be considered sovereign territory of Fae, not of the court, but of the Fae. And should you ever wish to return here, you must wait at the borders of our lands to seek permission. In exchange for this, I offer you this assurance. I will not engage in any hostility towards you, towards the further out villages, nor will I aid the Empire.
Please give this one a minute to consider this offer.
Of course.
While while one of Leans is considering this, can I ready an action to not to fire upon Fenny, but anything that tends, since we know that she summons creatures from the intel of Yozora and Dove, to fire upon anything hostile that gets summoned that's the closest to me?
Unfortunately not, as you're unaware of where they might appear. There's no way for you to have them in your sights and ready before initiative is rolled.
Fair enough.
If you would be willing to consider the following. The fact that this area would retain its sovereignty and enough time and preparation for the settlement to be displaced.
Stoneberries? Oh god.
This
God, I hope
offer
not.
is within consideration. Would this new faction in the area, of which I assume you would be the leader, be willing to entertain amicable relationships with its neighbors? Perhaps engage in trade?
How much time would you require to make sure that the settlement nearby is fully empty?
There would be the participation of a lot of representatives would be required. This would take at most a week.
Yozora's going to lean over to one who leans. It's not just the village, it's people who come from outside the village to fish here as well, from what I remember.
Measures can be put in place and regulations ascertained and put to writing. This would not be the main issue. The main issue would be finding a place to put these people. You would be the most familiar with the area and its environs. How far would the settlement have to move? And is there any exploitable region for them to install themselves in that you know of?
I would require, with, of course, open negotiation and official documentation being made for later, I would require at least 5 miles around this spot, vacated of other humanoids and their effects, and given to all of us as the Fae as our sovereign territory. And to your other point of amicable relations, I could be seen to harbor such potentialities. I do not, of course, wish to overexert or dedicate resources to fighting if I don't have to, but that would be simply amicable, and we would not be allies. We would not aid you. We would not do anything to aid the Empire, nor you. We remain neutral. Our lands and our borders would remain closed to both parties in this case. As for trade, that would have to be discussed later, perhaps, but it is not an immediate no.
Of course, the involvement with the newly formed alliance has to be voluntary. There is no forcing this issue on you.
Again, she looks over at Yuzora. Why did you not bring this one before? This one speaks sense and has all of the manners and the intelligence and the wherewithal to properly negotiate. But yes, to you. And she then turns back towards One Hulin. A week I would allow. Now, of course, that would start immediately, and I do understand you have some pressing business, so you may have less overall time than a full week to actually oversee the evacuation. But yes, a week. I would allow that.
The one thing that would expedite the process more than anything else is the pointing out of a suitable replacement area.
Ah, well, whatever these humanoids may find suitable, I suppose I can't really speak to that. If they wish to continue their current livelihood of fishing, they would have to make a choice to move either further up or down river, meaning they would move either closer to the new settlement that I have noticed has been begun to be built near the coast, or they would have to move further up closer to the stronghold formerly under the leadership of the Crimson Bandits, now firmly held within the grasp of the Empire.
Understood. This one will look into it. Now, while this one is the, by default, diplomat and negotiator of this party, it does not speak with authority over them. As such, this decision must be unanimous.
You mean unanimous amongst your companions here? She gestures vaguely at everybody.
Of course.
Very well. Should one of you wish instead to either offer themselves a surrender or as a spot of fun for my dear devoted followers, I will not complain. Your, of course, participation in such a lark would be similarly voluntarily up to each individual.
From where I sit.
Mhm.
Do I get a sense of that divine stink off of this creature as it had when its congregation was summoned?
There is that overpowering sense throughout the area of that divine energy. Yes.
Okay, killer. So she's probably invincible right now. Do you remember the verbiage? Do we remember the verbiage of that ability? Would it be possible to see
Basically, when they all die, the next turn she can revive them.
Okay, so it says alive. It doesn't say present or within a certain space. It says alive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna assume she's not vulnerable right now.
Okay. While I'm sitting here, I'd love to use a bonus action to do insightful fighting.
If you would like to insightful fighting, go ahead. I assume against her.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says
Of
1 minute.
course.
1 minute's fine. That's
After all, this one is here to make propositions, not to impose its decisions.
Take my time to size her up.
I don't know what you guys are on about. She seems lovely.
I can't say anything. I'm hidden.
Yeah.
I want to stay that way.
That is a success on your insightful fighting.
Lovely. All right, for the next minute, if we light this fire.
Yuzora, what you got?
I was going to ask, given my background and whatnot, do I feel like I've got an obligation to deal with these traitors?
Resource?
That's on you. I'm gonna assume.
That's why I'm asking. Is like,
I
would it be part of-
suppose that is ultimately up to Yuzora. If you feel that individuals who have allied themselves with these, I suppose, lack of a better term, rebels, if you feel that bringing them to heel and forcing them to adhere to the court's decisions and rules, then yes, you would feel obligated to bring them, I guess, judgment, to punish them. If, however, Yuzora does not feel as if that would be an obligation that would be, of course, smart, if you're worried about, being murdered outright or, otherwise injured, or if you feel that perhaps it is not your place to deliver the queen's justice, as it were. So that is going to be fully on Yuzora and how Yuzora feels as far as loyalty and bending the knee to the courts goes.
And taste. Like, fuck these guys or no?
And there's that as well.
And yeah, above table, like one who leans is doing one who leans' things. But if you guys want to fight it, I'm still gonna help.
That's sort of Felimi's above table. That's sort of Felimi's stance too. She's gonna help if the fight has to go, and she's all ready to go down. But
Yeah.
the demands seem reasonable, and if all they want is freedom,
Above table,
there.
Dove knows it's not going to stop there. This motherfucker came from Fey whatever to now divine entity. They're tasting power. They're going to want more. They're tasting power, and if we acquiesce to that, they're going to keep demanding more. This will not stop here. But that's Dove's thinking. So he's like, he's knocking his arrow, and he's just like, Nah, fuck this bitch.
I mean, Felony also sees the potential for
'Cause what-
for things to go that way.
Because what One Who Leans is thinking is that if they acquiesce to that, that's this dealt with for now, and there's no
For now.
worrying about them for the battle.
It gives us a week of time to deal with this where we have problems elsewhere, in other words.
And then we can figure them out. Like, do they just want to be left alone? Is she just power hungry? Like, we can figure them out.
You also gotta take into account, Fays are bound by their word in many cases. If they break an agreement, that goes a long way among the Fae.
Bill's ready for blood. However you guys want to.
No,
But I'm
Jeff
not.
just
But I'm
wants
not
to
gonna.
drink more Sprite.
Oh, of course. But
I mean,
I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna move until it's an advantageous thing to do.
and I'm not sure Low Warriors about that. I think a Fae bound to their word is just a Fae with like a literal sentence tied around their wrists. So,
Damn it.
yeah. Okay, well, you've got One Who Leads this thing on the table right now. So
So yeah, Zora, how are you feeling? You have already ran across one individual who is allied with this group, who very much hates you and your family because of who and what they are, for no other real reason. But how does Yazora feel? Is this an obligation that Yazora feels would be their duty to uphold? Or can you, with good conscience, walk away and allow them to continue?
duty.
Fuck. Sorry, I am thinking on this end. It's like, how would Yozora be
Mhm.
honestly thinking about this? Because, yeah. Fuck.
And Wither, you also, again, have your own free sovereignty and agency in this situation. You've already heard One Who Leans say that this decision must be unanimous on the parties' side to not fight and allow this agreement to be made.
I'm waiting on what everybody else. I'm
Okay,
kind of
okay.
holding off on waiting and seeing how things develop because Wither wasn't here for the first encounter, so he
Mhm.
doesn't know specifically. Doesn't know specifically the ins and outs of what's going on, and he's not necessarily completely familiar with the Fae and all that stuff. So he's kind of in the dark.
Yeah, well, how this goes, I think it's really gonna hinge on Sailov and Yozora.
I would have loosed already if there was a starter pistol. Just like I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for that green light. I'm ready to go.
So I do think,
I just want my hits to count. I don't want to give away
unless
my position.
Philemy feels strongly about this, I do think this decision now currently weighs upon Yozora's shoulders. How would you like to proceed?
For the record, crap.
Mhm.
Crap. Noted.
Noted.
This is one of those character defining moments.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest here. I'm just trying to figure out, trying to put myself in Yozora's shoes and trying to look at this through their.
So
We have a
is it
role play,
lit-
everyone.
Is it gonna be live and let live, bigger cats to fry, or is it gonna be fuck those guys?
Well, I guess my next question for the DM here, just double checking, is what Philzamy has been saying is true? She gives her word and she is bound by it?
I don't know.
It's less magical. It's not like some kind of magical feathers or anything. It's more like
Not like
yeah, that's
devils.
it's not like devil. It's more simply keeping to your word among the Fae tends to be pretty highly regarded. If she goes back on her word, that it's a lot of clout lost.
But
As
does she
far
really?
as
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
as far as Philomene knows and understands, the Fae are bound by certain rules, and if they make an agreement, basically a deal with another individual, they typically will be held to that and will hold themselves to that. Yozora, however, you know that while that is true to a point, there are absolutely tricksters and ne'er-do-wells amongst the Fey folk who would look for any possible loophole to make use of in order to exploit and possibly get around the bounds of any agreement. So think of all the things she hasn't said.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fates
but I'm
are
putting this in
tricksters.
writing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she's not going to find a loophole. She's, as far as we know, a lot older than anybody here.
So if I can help with your role play, that basically comes down. Do you want to give them a chance to maybe earn their own little place and play by the rules? Or do you say, no, they're not worth the chance?
On the other shoulder, a little place to play by their rules and defy your court further. To be gratified in their betrayal.
Felemy is your sword and shield here.
Sorry, I am honestly thinking here, so because I
Take your
cannot
time.
make I
Take
cannot
your
make this
time.
decision lightly.
Like I
I'm
said,
with you.
this
I'm with you,
is
whatever you decide.
a character defining moment for Yuzora. Are they an extension of the courts and the queen? Or are they here for their own purposes, to walk their own path and make themselves known on their own?
And do you believe they deserve the
Sure.
chance? If so, it's all about
Oh
you.
shit. Oh, we got the Met. Got a little boo.
And as you are considering, I have also sent you a message on Discord, Yuzora.
Okay, looking at that now.
I'm gonna go AFK real quick and get some munch. It's making me want to like stress eat.
No, absolutely, by all means.
Last time I sent a DM during the game, something interesting happened. Right.
I'm gonna
I
go get some
turned-
water real quick.
I turned Slappy's character into a doppelganger.
Yeah, I saw that the last session.
That was great. Sent him a DM like, you are now a doppelganger, and your goal is to kill the party.
As my chat points out, instead of an angel and a demon, I have a vampire and a mushroom on my shoulders.
Pretty much. Well, I would, like, gives you an expose on how One Who Leans feels about it, but that's not what's going on right now. You're just thinking. It's gotta be you, man. It's gotta be you.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm gonna be happy. The fight's gonna be cool, or I'm gonna sit with a goddess and write an agreement. It's all my shit.
Yozora's going to look up at Finny, I do have a question. What guarantee do we have that you will hold to your word? That this will be enough for you? The Fey courts, they made an agreement with the City of Doors. An agreement you didn't agree with, and you left. You betrayed the courts, your people. Let's say we do this. We give you what you ask. We evacuate the village, move them someplace else. We give you your 5 miles from, I assume, this spot. What's to say that the first time something, let's just go, displeases you? So I know some of your people seem to have grudges. That you won't immediately go back on your deal with us, similar to how we are discussing you going back on your deal with the Empire.
Oh, I missed those rude. Yeah.
A slow, salacious grin spreads across her lips. My dear, you have, unfortunately, made a vast mistake in your assumption. I am not of the Fae. Those that follow me, that worship, that seek my favor, are, and I represent them as I truly do love them. After all, they have given me such gifts.
Power.
I made no such agreement with any city, with any courts. You have no assurances that I will not come and ask for more later. I will, however, promise you that I will not do anything untoward for this next week. In fact, I will pull back my curses and the other unfortunate things that I have placed to try and encourage the humanoids of Chinpo to leave. I will hold off for this week. At the end of the week, should any remain, I also promise that they will pay for being within my borders. When we discuss our further agreements, arrangements, trade, whatever we do after this, whatever we decide to push forward with, I will present what I believe to be amenable and rational asks. The territory may need to grow, of course, to accommodate more. Say we bring in refugees, other Fey folk who don't wish to live under the harsh rules of the courts and adhere to agreements with entities and governments and places that they have never been, are not welcome in, and do not like. You want assurance for the future. There is but only a few ways a future can ever be assured, and most of them involve violence. I offer you a chance to secure your territory bloodlessly, to end an unfortunate, needless conflict before it turns into an outright war. For it is my understanding that you and your friends here have bigger fish to fry, not only here on Yomei, but you specifically. The courts are in chaos. my assurance to you, Yozora, is that you will have a moment to breathe and catch your breath.
Yo, this bitch is pushing it.
The decision is yours, Yozora. And while this one will follow you in whatever you decide, it would say that there is already violence, unnecessary violence, on its way. More might not be beneficial.
Yozora is gripping their staff very tightly, white knuckling it. As several, I mean, it's really hard from the high, but several decisions and emotions are just at war within them. Fuck. Double checking something real quick.
Your companion is right. You do have more pressing matters. Violence is already at your doorstep. Do you wish to start it at the back door as well?
I mean, that's one way to get fucked.
I mean, she looks like she's blown out more back than a bad chiropractor.
I was like, I thought you'd never ask.
Yozora just takes a deep breath, considering all the options, going through everything. Just a long, hissing exhale. They're very much clearly not happy with their decision, but in light of everything going on,
Eldritch Blast.
He's.
no. I will make no move against you and yours today. But know this, and maybe hold it back this second. I will make no move against you or yours today. I will do my best to facilitate the people moving and give you your territory. But know this. Second here. What's her full title? Full name?
Finny River Chewer.
But know this, Finny River Chewer. If you or yours act against the settlement of Bonnock 2, my companions, or the Feywild itself, I will be back, and I will strike you down with the full might of the Feywild.
Then it seems we have an agreement. You will see no hostility from us today, nor for the next week at least. At the end of this week, she seems to turn and address one who leans at this point. At the end of this week, I expect to see you again to discuss further our terms.
Of course. This one would actually like to draft a proposal with you before it departs. And also, I want to kind of like analyze undertones and stuff like that when she's speaking, when she's making deals, like what's her vibe? Like is she like barely masking nefarious intent? Is she like just happy to be left alone?
I'm going to hazard a guess I did not pick up a single lie in that entire exchange.
And bruh, same. Like, I'm making all the assumptions. I'm making lots of assumptions, but if I can pick up on any little, oh god, any sanctimonious cues, like, I'm doing you the favor here. You're going to act because you wouldn't want to do any more fighting, would you? Just give me what I want. Am I getting any feedback from my own tendency to insight?
One of Leeds, go ahead and make an insight with advantage.
That's
There
pretty
is
good.
all the undertones. She is absolutely promising full, harsh, immediate, and unrelenting violence at the earliest hint that it would be advantageous, and she senses any sort of deception, attempt on her or her followers, or incursion upon their territory. And if you do not agree fully to her terms, there is no subtlety, no doubt in your mind that she is willing and able to go to the mat and fight to the death if need be. Yozora, you have detected no deception from her. Her threats are overt, and they are not simply threats, but promises. And Dove, oh yeah, you have seen these kind of arrogant, haughty individuals more than a few times within the city, especially at your job.
Yeah.
She thinks she's smarter, more well-equipped, more capable than anyone else, and she is the top dog, the alpha predator in the room. She does not fear any of you. Possibly to her detriment, but you definitely are able to note an apex predator stalking prey, waiting for an opening when you see one.
Yeah, I know it's a bit difficult, but I did get a good roll. Like what I'm looking for specifically,
Absolutely.
because I can tell that like she means what she fucking says, and that we shouldn't fuck around and find out if we want to go the diplomatic route. But what I'm looking for specifically is like, because the one who leads has dealt with his fair share of narcissists as well, but like what's the is there any hint is there any hint that as pompous as she is, that it comes from like a will to protect her own, like really like make a place for the rebel fae, or does it come from like power hunger, like
megalomania?
Oh, okay. Absolutely. You were able to pick out in her body language, her tone, etc. This is someone who has discovered the benefits of power, likes it, and definitely wants to keep benefiting from power. But under that, you do get that sense that she is doing this because she genuinely cares for her devoted followers, because she's realized that without them, maybe I don't have any power. So I want to please them so they continue to please me. But you also, like I said, get that sense that it's because she really likes the way that power feels.
Okay, well, that's enough for me to at least give her the chance to see how she handles it. But again, that's only my side. One who leads is opinion.
I've made my statement.
All right.
Yeah, for the record, Yozora, anybody looking at Yozora, they are not happy with this. But this isn't, as far as they can tell, this isn't an active threat to the Feywild itself. And has been noted by multiple sources. We've got a war coming. It's a really stupid idea to have a war, to be the middle person in a 3-person war, or a war.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm calculating where this goes diplomatically, and I think I can handle it, but I think things, and they're not always right. So I'm gonna begin approaching with some paper, ink, and quill in hand, and I guess, well, there's shields around. We can make a makeshift table. My intention is to draft a proposal for the villagers with her, and I agree to her immediate terms. And if an arrow flies at her while I'm walking, then I know what we're doing. But in the meantime, I'm getting closer.
She makes no gesture or movement to stop you as you get closer, and seems to just be waiting. What are you doing?
With her emotions, and offers to toss his tinderbox out of his pouch as a spot to write the parchment right on.
Tinderboxes are small. They're just little, like,
Yeah,
it's essentially like a matchbox.
I'm losing my mind. Don't mind me.
You take out your TV tray.
Okay.
Yeah, take out one of your TV, like one of these, one of the little TV dinner tray. Base it. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
One of those trays. Don't mind the lotion. I was actually
That's
using,
on its skin.
yeah, I was
It
actually
appears,
using it to make sound effects.
it appears my party has find your terms agreeable, and so have I. Though this one would discuss with you further arrangements and a way to present it to the villagers. Perhaps you would like to draft this proposal with me. Or with this one. I'm so excited about diplomacy, I lost my pronouns.
Oh no!
Fair, it happens.
You
have
gained pronouns.
Heard my terms. What is it you are specifically looking to hash out?
There is a way to ask people to leave their homes. And this way usually involves compromise. It will not in this instance, as your terms will be agreed to in full. But presentation is, as they say, everything.
Narrowing her eyes slightly, she gives you a very discerning look for a moment. And what compromise is it that you wish to make?
As this one has said, none at the moment. This one simply wishes to put this proposal in a palatable way for the villagers. To diminish, if not nullify, any resistance to this agreement.
She steeples her fingers for just a moment as she seems to consider. Then, finally, she gives you a bit of a nod, and you see her body almost relax a little. I think I catch your meaning. I will allow this, then, and you tell me if it sounds agreeable or not. In this case, over the next week, as I said, I will pull back the magic I've placed over the area. I will allow them to continue fishing during that week as well. I will, in fact, even go so far as to repair and restore any damages done to homes or vessels that has happened since the beginning of my occupation here, so that they have the ability and all of their possible possessions and resources to facilitate travel. And further, I will, if they wish, I will allow them to take passage upon these vessels through the area, so long as at the end of the week they are outside of the area we have determined, the 5-mile radius, you mind.
Yeah.
Additionally, I am open to allowing fishing within the 5-mile radius, but they must keep out of a 1-mile radius of this spot when doing their fishing. After all, I cannot control the fish, so if they swim in closer to our territories, I will allow the fishing to happen upon the waters. Yuzora, you've detected a lie.
Okay. What was it that Yozora perks up? What was it that you just said? Which way? Actually, backed it up for above the table. Which part of it was the lie?
She ain't gonna allow that fishing to happen.
When she mentioned she cannot control the fish, you felt like, hey, she's lying about that.
Huh.
Zora perks up.
Ah, that's fine.
You say you can't control the fish. Why do I feel like you're lying to me? To one who leans.
I can't possibly imagine why you might feel that way. Another lie? Perhaps you are mistaken.
Oh, please. Negotiations are one thing, and I will allow that. But do not lie in my presence. Because I will not let this happen under false pretenses. You claim to not be able to control the fish. We both know that's a lie.
I cannot force the fish to act in any certain way. But I can, I suppose, I will admit that I can encourage them to do things, to go places, and to behave in a specific manner. I will allow that.
It is fine. There was no requirement in our agreement for you to divulge any of your abilities. And it did include your compliance with not doing anything against the villager during the week. This one assumes it would involve everything you are capable of.
Then
Thank you.
we
Thank you, Yuzora, for your vigilance.
are we good here then, Yozora?
Yorosora says nothing else. Is like this look that's very much I'm keeping an eye and I'm listening.
See her
You just-
eyeing Yozora for a moment, and she sniffs at the air.
What?
That explains
Bitch.
that.
Glub glub.
Your appearance is interesting. And she smiles wryly.
Yozora's response is just narrowed eyes, sort of getting an idea of what she's getting at, but at the same time,
Listen.
like, oh, being on guard.
Just picturing Yuzora doing the two fingers, Yumi, Yumi.
Not that overtly.
Fuck around, find out.
This one believes that all the concessions you mentioned will go a long way in
Dude.
convincing the villagers to move.
Dove is thirsting. He is champing at the bit up here. He
And
wants
I'm
this
gonna
bitch.
start scribbling.
This fucking narcissist.
And
If there's
I'm
one
gonna
thing,
do it at like super mushroom speeds. And
if there's anything a narcissist can't handle, it's another.
basically write the proposal of departure, all the benefits she mentioned, the fact that the curse were removed, every accentuating the good sides of it, and delineating the area, and
yeah. Do lots of D&D, yeah.
suggesting possible alternative locations
4,
on the
actually.
paper. Show it to her.
One last gift, I suppose, to help encourage them to leave. We will even help them.
This one was about to suggest this would be the most effective way in assuring their departure for one, and further amicable relations.
We shall grant unto them magically conjured servants of the Fey variety to help them carry and move their belongings to whatever new location they decide, so long as they move them at least outside of our borders.
Insight. Help them move the same way the Empire is helping the citizens relocate.
Yeah, I want to insight check that too, if possible.
I mean, same, but I'm starting to dig her vibe. I like her.
Oh my god.
Yuzari, you don't detect any deception or lies in that. She seems to be at least speaking and saying the truth.
I rolled.
But go ahead, everybody, insight checks that wants to see, if you can maybe
Nope,
get
I'm
a
not
little
seeing
deeper.
Bumpkus.
It's gonna be my assumption anyway.
I want to see if Fenny is going to have them turn on them. I want insight onto that, whether or not specifically.
As far as any of you can tell, she's fully meaning that. She will conjure up a different form of unseen servant that will be seen, some sort of small fey creature that can help lift and carry any sort of crates, baskets, goods. If there's somebody who has to carry everything upon their back, they will assist them and get them outside of the area. Now, what happens after they're outside of the borders, that is less clear. They may abandon there and be like, well, that's good enough, bye. Or they may, in fact, as she has hinted at, help them in relocating to whatever area they have chosen.
But is there any hint that he may at any point cause trouble?
There's
Another
no
word.
indication that they would cause any undue harm or stress upon anyone.
So this is not so that offer is not a trap.
It is not a trap, as far as you can tell. It seems to be genuine.
That's what matters to Felony.
This one believes these terms are amenable, and it genuinely believes that your wish will be granted. It would, however, discuss one further thing with you. This one comes from a species that lives in symbiosis with another. As such, it understands very well the value of cooperation. And while it knows that not all adheres to its principle, it believes its immense benefits are worth considering. There's original terms, of this 5-mile area will be agreed to. But when it comes to further expansion, it believes that compromise will be the word of the day. And that in encouraging cooperation between your people and its neighbors, it will reinforce their security.
She simply nods her head in acknowledgement. Again, you do make the most sense of any of your companions. I do wish you'd been here the first time. We might have avoided any unpleasantness. But perhaps you are correct. Whatever comes afterwards. Perhaps I'm
Made
simply
this bitch a
waiting
hell
to
of a
see
deal.
what
Fuck
the
her.
outcome is. Can you truly stand against the might of the Empire? When the Empire's will exerts itself and shows its hand,
Show this.
will you still be standing? Or will it crush you all, as I expect it to?
This one cannot make any prognostic as to this possible development. It will, however, promise to do its very best to assure that the Emperor does not succeed in its destructive endeavors. It is not afraid of perishing in the attempt.
Have you any knowledge of the Empire and its long histories of conquest?
Some of it was summarized to it. If you would elaborate on it, this one would appreciate it.
Even myself am not fully aware of this empire's long history of the great conquest. A blanket of shadows and death sweeping across all of creation. But I can tell you this. In all of the knowledge I have ascertained, there is but one world that has ever stood and triumphed and pushed back the shadow. And it cost them greatly.
Ooh, we know this.
Yeah. It cost them what was Maidens of the Sun and the Kitsune of the world.
But now this one. But now. They're saying it's the Empire. That it's the very same.
Or the ones backing the Empire.
Right.
Because we were also told that,
Was
we've
our
also been
inference.
informed that what was the Children of the Night are in play again. And that
Yeah.
they might be showing up. One of them will be showing up to him deal with us personally during this war. Or at least might be.
So this one's referring to the Empire itself as just this force. So, okay. Great. Great.
This one can corroborate this information. This one and its party have liberated the spirit of the winds.
There is an individual that I know by name that this empire fears, and they even now seek this individual. And information available along the yet unraveled history
Information from you.
and past of this individual.
Would you be inclined to divulge what you know about them?
Right, thank you.
In good faith, I would offer you this.
Discord.
You
right.
who have arrived here by
Starting.
magic door,
Starting bot.
these doors, they don't simply open
Here it is.
unto place. They open unto time. Because time itself is
Soup.
a place that may be visited.
Excuse me. Time is a soup.
This definitely adds to the complexity of the situation.
The individual that they seem to fear,
Mhm.
that has bested them once before. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but I will offer that name as well, so that you may seek them out. Perhaps they can offer you aid. They seek out Elmdor Septimus.
Note.
Yeah, I don't suppose there's any chance I've heard of that name.
Everybody
have.
can make history checks.
You have in Oblivion. It's okay.
I haven't
Everybody?
played Oblivion, thank you.
Septum.
Yeah, Septum is the
Okay,
Imperial family.
that's a better roll. Oh, damn it.
Yo, look at
Nice.
that.
We're all doing okay.
Look
Okay.
at that 20.
I'm happy with
Look
my
at all these good rolls.
And it makes sense. As you may have heard this fairly recently, probably only a month, maybe a little longer, since you've been around anyone who might have had a name similar to this on their lips. While within the city, there was discussion that the city lord had gone missing, supposedly taken by one of the great houses of the Plane of Fire and held deep within the bowels of their strongholds. The current city lord,
That's it.
Elmdor Septurus.
Taurus.
Mm,
Hmm.
the thick bloodens.
Interesting.
This one thanks you greatly for this information.
Of course. And I thank you, dearest, your name? I don't believe I caught it before. I honestly
one
wasn't
is-
paying attention.
This one is called the One Who Leans.
One who leans, thank you for being amenable and having a good head on your shoulders, knowing that violence, at least in this case, is likely not a great idea.
There is one last thing, if you would indulge this one's curiosity.
She gives you a curious glance. Go ahead.
What is it that the Empire offered?
In exchange for what we have been doing here, they offered us much the same agreement, though their agreement was only to 3 miles. You see why I'm so eager to work with you instead. They would ensure that the settlement was emptied and that the individuals there would be sent out to be of better use to the Empire, relocated. The settlements there, the buildings, and everything left behind and given to us. and we would be left alone. And they also mentioned that should we come across individuals of note, hold on to them, send word,
Hmm.
and deliver them, we'd be given riches, gifts, strength, power, beyond anything we might have yet heard or imagined ourselves.
I don't know about anybody else, but that's setting off alarm bells.
Oh yeah,
100%.
definitely.
They're gonna snitch.
Then this one is glad that we have an agreement, as they would not have been able to fulfill theirs.
We shall see. It may yet come that they do in fact hold up their end of the bargain. I suppose it'll be up to all of you. And again, you have my word. I shall give no aid, no warning to the Empire.
Okay.
It shall be your problem.
Yuzoro's going to pipe up. How long till this agreement goes into effect? About the non-aggression.
1 week.
Between us and you, or between us and the Empire?
Us and yourself and your people.
Our agreement is currently in place immediately.
I merely
have-
ask. Oh,
No,
sorry.
I have
go
no
ahead.
need to continue to rattle the saber as it is.
I merely ask because the last time I was through here, one of your subjects very much did everything they could to try and strike me down. While, in honor of this treaty, I will make no move to initiate. If they attack me or mine, are we allowed to defend ourselves? Or would that be seen as breach of contract?
Should any of my devoted
Good show.
followers, my sovereign citizens, raise arm against you for at least the next week, you have all permission and my blessing to strike them down as the foolish, unthinking, uncouth rebels that they are.
Yuzoro will simply nod. Because, yeah, we gotta go back to that above table. We gotta go back that way with the one that absolutely was loathing Yuzoro, so.
Then Fenny Ritherchua, you have our thanks. This agreement is in effect, and it will be led through. We shall now take our leave, unless there's anything you wish to add, and prepare our defenses.
She gestures with a dismissive wave of her hand. You have my word. And while I cannot actually control my followers,
Hmm.
no lies detected, you again have my blessing to strike them down with vehemence should they go against my decisions.
My decisions.
Again, just another nod.
Mm.
Yuzoro will hold up their end. They will not strike first, but they will defend themselves if necessary.
Come back.
Yeah, sounds good.
Of course.
Well, Foundry just crashed for me.
Yeah, it just blew up.
Okay, so it wasn't just me.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm trying to reload it back up right now.
Yeah, it does look like the server has completely died.
Of course it has.
Good thing we weren't in combat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or are we?
Well, that was sort of why I was
one
asking
who
about-
leans, one who leans has an air about him that he's like satisfied to fulfill his purpose, but he's also ready to go if an arrow flies out for some reason.
Ready to just throw down.
There
Yozora
you go.
is
It's back.
going to be honest, beyond unhappy with this situation, but
Same.
logically, ending up as with the war on two fronts is not a good idea.
I mean,
And this-
I
this-
told you guys before above table that if violence is avoidable, one who leads is going to do his darndest to avoid it. That's the character.
I
Yeah.
mean, we can.
Yeah.
Whichever way this goes after we come back, this is the way it goes. But for now, at least we know they're not gonna come for her back.
Yeah, because like I can see see on Slappy's face. This is kind of a who's throwing the first stone situation, and it's gonna have implications.
Yeah, being logical sucks. Because again, Yozora just wants to strike them down because this is, traitors to the Feywild, but at the same time,
I mean, she's
Logic-
harboring the traitors, but she's not one of them.
Yeah.
yeah,
She's
but they will disperse if
Emboldening
she's
them.
gone. There we go.
emboldening and maybe even encouraging. In fact,
Possibly.
definitely encouraging because she wants more followers, because she wants more power.
Possibly.
But at this point
Yes.
in time, despite all the emotions and everything, there's no reason to start a fight with this when we got the Empire knocking on our door and possibly ending up between two armies.
Yeah, this is Dove's character. This is, oh, this bitch is greedy. I see how this is going to go.
Yozora sees it too, but again, at the same time, it's just like for lack of a better term, the ruler, the potential possible ruler of a kingdom of the Fae has to think about their subjects first. And looking at the land, the Monarch II, for lack of a better term, as their subjects, picking this fight is not the smartest option.
Dove will wait until conversation wraps up, and we start.
It's pretty much wrapping up, I believe.
We start to pack up and leave. Dove will come down when
Basically-
it's the right time.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll up the proposal, give a polite nod because bowing is kind of physically impossible, and I'm gonna start walking back.
Absolutely.
Dove will drop out of the tree. Put his short bow.
Pop out of.
And put his short bow back in his jacket. Hey. Just acknowledge
This one
the
greets you.
Okay, did he just appear
Little
out of
poinsettia.
nowhere?
hey.
These sprites do appear as if they have now made themselves visible. And they're all just watching you.
Sup.
I politely greeted the closest one.
Yozora's just eyeing them.
Little candy.
Wither kind of just walks by the one, gives it a interesting look. Not sure what to do or what to say, but he just kind of just lets them be for now.
Dove passes by. Fanny.
That's a sentence.
If only. If only. But Dove passes by Fanny River Chewer. Just. I already made you a deal, but. Now you've dealt with the proper diplomat. Power is delicious, isn't it? Enjoy it. Drink it in before you drown in it.
Without a word, she just gives Dove a very polite but very withering grin of like, yeah, I will.
Yozora's waiting just for fills me and One Who Leans to basically for us to leave. It's like not trusting these Fae. And
Yeah,
their
I'm
leader.
gonna make a show of our departure, and I'm gonna wild chip into a horse again right here.
Woo! Rear back with your hooves like cascading the water around. Splash! Woo!
Yeah.
Big, grand light glistening against
Mhm.
the spray. Dove just quite the opposite, jams his hands into his coat pockets and just sulks off. Sulks back to the wagon. I'll be in the car.
Yozora's leaving with as much dignity as they are allowed.
Wither just makes a break for the nearest tree and scouts the area to make sure there is no danger other than the possible ones behind us.
You know, the funny thing is, I am almost kind of bummed that we didn't do the fight because I was ready for it. I had my strut and everything. I just had to do my character thing.
Yeah.
We were all ready
was
for
ready.
the fight,
I was
but
ready.
that's not always how
Yeah.
it goes.
It's like I wanted to fight too, but logic and being like it's not smart to kick off a war on two fronts.
Dove is more than happy to exploit this situation for everything it's worth. And to betray the shit out of this bitch later. But either way, yeah. It would not have been
I have a few long cons
Good.
in mind.
Now, above table, how long did that take in time?
I
It
think
wasn't that long, right? It was like a
took us about 2 hours, 3 hours, I'd say.
no.
took us at the table, but
Even less than that. It was about an hour's worth of time. The full discussion, the drafting of your paperwork there.
Oh, you mean in game? Okay.
so we deliver the bad news to Chinpo. They're able to supply us with provisions for the skirmish. But it's gonna be kind of like Skyrim with the Empire and the Thalmor, right? Like,
Oh, I
But-
think I can sell this. I think I can sell this.
okay. Yeah, Dove would have happily just loosed an arrow if it would have like done the deed, but he didn't want to lose his advantageous
Yeah, no.
position.
Keep
So
in
it's up to
mind,
y'all.
if we lose to the Empire, we're not gonna stay anyway. And if we win
Yeah.
against the Empire, well, Fenny just pointed us out to a region that was once held by the Crimson Lord, which no longer will be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this. Yeah.
Again,
I mean,
as far as I can tell, they're not an active threat to the Feywild. Which would have been if they were an active threat. Yozora definitely would have struck, but yeah.
but I mean, problem with this fight is no matter what, it kind of would have been engaged on their term.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, for
Since they home turf advantage, like a layer, basically.
lack of a better term, I suppose. One Who Leans asked offered the right, I guess, possibility. Asked if they could solve this amicably without violence, and she was very much into that.
She changed her tune because Dove made a very similar question, and her answer was surrender to us entirely. this bitch.
Yeah.
So you didn't include offering up the village in it.
Yeah.
Also, you did so just after eating
It
two of her
wasn't-
subjects.
So it wasn't.
You
There
did
is
eat
that.
two of her mates, yeah.
Don't worry about that.
But I mean,
Don't worry about that.
That's part of why I
It's okay.
asked. Are we allowed
Minor,
to defend
minor note,
ourselves?
minor note. It's fine. It's fine.
That's why I asked if we were allowed to defend ourselves. As I don't want to
Oh, yeah,
completely
and-
defend this treaty when if we have to defend ourselves.
honestly, it's a kind of a wish you would situation there, because we have her word that she's not gonna do shit, and she encourages us to take them down. It's like, all right,
Great.
you want to do
Oh.
something? You want to do something?
And Dove was taking all sorts of like bolstering, like, yeah, see you, when she's like, I encourage you to take them down, like the foul, unthinking rebels that they are, for not following my decision. I'm like, yes. There it is. There's that ego, the narcissism, the megalomania. My decision is absolute. Ah, yes. We see where this is going.
I think this could also be a situation that resolves itself, like, because she seems genuinely interested in protecting them, and I think it could actually work out. Or if she goes full tyrant, then she's already harboring rebels. They know how
True.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're already betraying the court. Why wouldn't they betray her too?
That was cool. I liked it. Even if the tension was high and we were like all rooting for a fight, I liked how it went.
I
Actually,
mean,
better.
the tension just made it all better.
Yeah.
It made it real.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're on our way to
Chimpo.
Banaku then.
I'm
Oh,
sorry for
Chimpo,
taking
yeah,
so long. I
Chimpo.
was legitimately, I'm just sitting there going, what does my character want to do?
Yeah, I'm like,
Do we
just fire that
technically
starter
have to
pistol. Come
go-
on.
Do we technically have to go to Chimpo
We
right now?
why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
We'd probably go back
We
and
need
say,
to let them
hey,
know what's going on.
We need to
Hey.
let them know.
this fucker. It'd probably be a good idea to
Y'all
let them know
motherfuckers need to
that
get out.
that you need to evacuate by a week. I'm not
But
inclined to have
also
them go
there is the
anywhere, but
option- There is the option of having them a part of the new settlement that that our diplomats are building right now. Have them be a part of it.
oh yeah, have them relocate to
Yeah, have 'em
to
to
the
that.
to our gate base.
Yeah,
Possibly. I mean,
I mean, there's a river nearby. We can use that.
I think
There's
that
options,
is like
'cause
the
they're-
ocean
they're
nearby
fishermen.
too. Jeez.
like it's. I think it's fairly easy to keep them like within what they know. Like just move 5 miles upriver and like keep a fishing village, which I think would probably be preferable for them. But there's also other options.
All right. With that in mind, we'll call it there.
Yay!
Okay.
Hell yeah. That was
Yeah.
very cool.
Entire bit to be
You,
absolute.
yeah, you said the magic voids. How can we end this bloodlessly? And she was like, "Oh, by all means, you know, get everybody the fuck out, leave my lands, give me my shit, and leave."
Yeah, how do we
I'll
end
give
this
a fuck.
bloodlessly? Give me what I want.
And I love that one who leans was like, "All right, I can do that." That was fucking great.
Ah, shit.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool shit. I enjoyed the fuck out of that. Thank you, all of you, very much for playing, for being able to shift our days to be Mondays now. I hope you guys had some fun tonight.
Yeah,
We'll
I
get next
apologize
week.
about the time point shift. I
Don't
tried
even
to
worry
work to
about
let
it.
me have Fridays
Don't
off.
worry,
and they've shut
they-
down.
No, you good, dude. This is
It's just
making
new day.
Mondays bearable.
agreed.
Things
This
change
is-
and we adapt, and that's it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yo,
It works
and
for me. Mondays are usually one of my days off, so it does help out a lot.
and Friday I'm gonna be cramping it.
Of course.
What?
But yeah, again, thank you. I hope you had some fun. I had an absolute blast. That was very cool.
Oh.
I don't
Oh,
want to like,
shit.
because I was like, man, we're not gonna get to do this fight. And I thought about like
Not yet.
going into like some of the abilities and things I do, but you know what? We'll not. We'll save that because you never know what might
Might
happen
still
in the
happen.
future.
This fight
Yeah.
might still happen, yeah, a week from now.
I've got my promise. If she moves against us, I've got my promise that if she moves against us or ours, specifically anybody that Yozora considers theirs, for lack of a better term.
This is a ceasefire, not. This is a ceasefire, not the hand of the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Correct.
It's
even
like
said
I will bring the
it
full
wasn't-
might that I can.
she even said that it wasn't that we were allies. We were just not enemies.
Just not enemies, absolutely.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you very
Okay,
much.
it works.
We'll be back next week for more.
Yeah.
Let us send you to. Let's send you to Shrum. He's playing Final Fantasy VII for the first time. And he might be liking it, I
Hell
think.
yeah.
We'll see. He's difficult to impress sometimes, but I think he is. He's enjoying himself.
Original
so far.
PS1?
Yes, the original one.
Fuck yeah.
PS1.
On
not,
my
no
end, I
Steam.
plan on sending you all over to Edgy Gamer Gal, who's
Raid.
doing Yakuza 0.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
a good
hell
one.
yeah. Two good options.
Dang.
Open up two tabs, watch them both.
There you go. Yes, give old Shrum Daddy a ride on that meat train. Give him that slappy orgasm. If you don't have slappy orgasm, why? My heart has been broken twice this night. But give him any gasm you got, because what's little gasms between friends after all? Yes, there it is. So we will see you. It's Monday. It's Monday. It's fucking Monday. We will see you next week and this weekend. See you Saturday, probably, maybe. Yes, fucking please. Vampire? Storm Riders. Vampire? Vampire. Vampire?
Yep, vampire.
God damn, let's do Vampire. Holy shit, I want to suck. We'll see you all then. Oh, and Sunday for Level Heads. Ha. Till then. Bye.
Bye.